Okay, 26 minutes before 8 o'clock is the time. You're tuned to the Integrity Station's Plush 105.5 FM, broadcasting this morning live from the White House building, Felele, in the city of Ibadan. Good morning to you, wonderful people. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. It is Sports Bang, and we're happy to be here. The very last day in the month of June, year 2021. My name is Tunde Olawuwo, and of course, we're getting to the crucial part of some major competitions happening in the world of sports, especially in the UEFA Euros 2020, and of course the Copa America. Still early days in the Wimbledon, so a lot can still happen. But of course, back home here, we have a lot of interesting twists and turns in the world of sports. Have you heard about the Aisha Buhari Cup? Yes, it's an ongoing competition. Definitely we'll let you know about it as well. This morning, I have the duo of Feromi Adegboyega and Faith Adedeji this morning. Well, what is interesting you about the quarterfinal appearance of the UEFA Euros 2020? Some already have their predictions in the mud. I'm not going to be dropping names this morning, just so you know. Faith, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Did you make any predictions at all?
Well, yes, I did. Something around that. But then,
okay. I never came through. That's why you're going to be silent about it.
Well, we've not gotten to the finals yet. I know that, but it can still happen. The two teams I predicted, one of them is out, obviously, but the other one is still in the competition. But
you're still better than some people.
Well, yeah, you've also not made your prediction known. I know you've been trying to avoid it. You said you would...
I've mentioned a particular country, Belgium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Belgium will win. Okay, so we have that on record, obviously. So we'll come back to
it. Win, but I've mentioned a particular country.
Top of the morning to you. It's a special Wednesday morning. A very special Wednesday morning for us here. Well, maybe we'll talk about that later. Good morning, Feromi. Good morning, Ibadan. It's a very bright and beautiful day in the city of Ibadan this morning. And you've talked about the UEFA European Championships that is going on, obviously. I think it's a tournament for the underdogs, we just have to say. We've seen impressive performances from almost every team, even teams that got knocked out. We saw Hungary deliver fantastic performances in that difficult group. We've seen a great fight. We saw the Croatians as well. They got knocked out by Spain, but then they still gave a very great fight in that particular game and all that. We've seen the Switzerland, the Swiss now. We saw what they were able to do against a different team. They knocked them out. We saw that fighting spirit. So I think it's been a very interesting tournament so far. And that is something we always look out for in the world of football and sports generally. We want competition. We don't want... You have to earn it, and that is what the smaller teams, or in quotes now, in footballing terms now, that is what they've been telling the big boys now. You just have to earn it. You have to do well to get your place in the next round. We are not just going to give you out of respect or whatever. So it is what it is. Another wonderful time, and I believe it will be a very interesting time on Sports Bank this morning.
Thank you very much, Feromi Adegboyega. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning to you, Sunday. Good morning to Faith, to our wonderful listener. I think I deserve some accolades. I said yesterday that Ukraine was going to win, and they did win. And it's surprising to me how we are not talking about Blessing being dragged this morning. I could remember yesterday the way you took me on.
You want to drag Blessing today?
Yes, definitely. Special day to drag her.
You want to drag Blessing today?
Yes, a special day to drag her.
Indeed, you want to drag Blessing forward today.
Oh, seriously. So you are going to be a gentleman. So you want to make an exception today, right?
Be a gentleman.
So you want to make an exception today, right?
Well,
Feromi, did you call the victory for England too?
You didn't ask me. I only answered the question he asked.
Feromi,
that was Ukraine.
But then you would have actually talked about it.
If I was asked, probably I would not have actually gone for it. But then, the supposedly group of dead was so deadly that nobody survived eventually. Because at the end of it all, nobody from that group has been able to make it to the quarterfinals. And, it's just a summary of how this competition has actually turned out to be. There is no team that should be underrated. There is no small team at this point in time in this particular Euros. If you don't do well, if you're thinking you're a big boy, if you're underrating any team, you're doing that at a home peril, and that is what we've seen so far. Look at the quarterfinal appearance, Czech Republic against Denmark. who would have actually predicted that at the beginning of this particular Euros? I'm telling you, this has turned out to be a very, very competitive, amazing tournament so far in these Euros. We eventually will get it. I think, it's still left hanging somehow. We still just have to wait, because a lot of those teams will still surprise going on in this particular Euros. And of course, sad one, Serena Williams again. Injury.
Okay, let's start from the home front as usual. You remember, Nigeria is the centerpiece of whatever it is we're discussing. Chairman of the local organizing committee for the Aisha Buhari Invitational Women's Tournament, Seyi Akiwumi, has expressed the determination of the committee to utilize fully the opportunity provided by the staging of the competition to boldly underscore Nigeria's competence in organization of major events. Speaking on Tuesday in Abuja, the Dibona legal luminary and former administrator of Note said he was satisfied with the caliber of men and women in the organizing team, and the only work we have now is to harness the expertise, knowledge, experience, and skills of the various individuals to impact on the key areas of the organization to deliver a first-grade tournament. Nigeria will host a six-nation tournament in the name of the country's First Lady from the 14th to the 20th of September in Lagos, with host Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Morocco, Cameroon, and Mali set to dwell in a celebratory atmosphere. The six countries are arguably the strongest women football playing countries on the African continent. Nigeria has not hosted a major football championship since staging the 24-nation FIFA Under-17 World Cup finals 12 years ago. Before then, the country hosted the African Cup of Nations finals in 1980, co-hosted the same event with Ghana 20 years later, hosted the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in 1999, and staged the multi-sport All-Africa Games in 1973 and 2003. She also played host to the Women African Cup of Nations in 1998, 2002, and 2006. Members of the committee include its chairman, Seyi Akiwumi, who is also first vice president of the NFF. We also have other people on board. Well, this is, one competition, if I may say, competition, but more like a friendly tournament being put together. But, all the same, it's interesting having, female footballers from different countries, come to Nigeria to, come play football.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very interesting one. You've also read out some of those facts that we've not hosted major tournaments in quite some time now. I think it has to be the 2009 Under-17 World Cup. That is the major tournament I can remember that we hosted. But I also remember we hosted the Women African Cup of Nations. That's the, the Alcon in 2006. So, we are a big force. We have to say that in football, talking about football in Africa, we should be doing more than we are doing. And we also know what hosting tournaments will do. It will always bring, there's the economic benefits. There's also the fact that we also need to do so well as regards our resources, our, the kind of facilities we'll do. We have to improve the pitches. We have to improve everything around it. So I think it's a very good one. And it will also help to foster better development of women's football in Africa generally. We've always talked about this, and we're already seeing teams do better than they used to do. It's no longer the monopoly that we used to have, talking about the Super Falcons now. On the continent, we have many teams also catching up. Maybe the Equatorial Guineans are not doing well lately, but we've also seen flashes of brilliance from them at some point. We have the Cameroonians somewhere around, the Ghanaians somewhere around, and all that. So I think it's a very good one for African football, and hopefully we'll be able to, translate it at the biggest stages when we get to the World Cup, because that is somewhere our ladies go, and we sort of get maybe whitewashed, I have to say, but I hope we'll be able to get benefits from this competition, and going forward we'll get maximum and better results for women football in Africa.
Okay, it's March day 30 in the Nigerian Professional Football League, and we have some interesting games slated for today. Rivers United will be against Plateau United. Fermi will look at some of the other games. Juga Golden Stars versus Katsina United. Ifeanyi versus Adama United. MFM against Kano Pillars. Lobby Stars versus Atlant. Sunshine to play Wiki Tourist. Enugu Rangers versus Abia Warriors. And Eyimba versus Wiki Tourist. Warri Wolves, I beg your pardon. Tomorrow, Jakarta will be up against Accra United and Aqua against Nasarawa United. What do you see in today's games?
Yeah, definitely interesting games to actually go down later today. Like you rightly said, MFM against Kano Pillars in that particular one. Kano Pillars will be coming down to Lagos to see if they can get another point in that particular one. It's going to be a very difficult one, but then, let's see what these guys can actually do. Remember, they're still in contention to actually to fight for the title in that one. And of course, another one I'm actually looking forward to is definitely has to be Rivers United against Plateau United. It's definitely going to be a mouth-watering one. Rivers United are currently 6th position with 48 points, and of course Plateau not far away with just 43 points, so a lot to fight for in that one as well. Aqua United, they were actually they were stopped during the unbeaten run during the course of last weekend. They are 18 run unbeaten. Would they be able to bounce back against Nasarawa United and inform Nasarawa United? I must say this time around, I think tomorrow time will tell for that. So a lot of interesting matches to actually look forward to in the Nigerian Professional Football League. It's not over yet. A lot to still fight for in that particular one.
Sometimes I look at the seeming competitiveness of the Nigerian Professional Football League and I ask myself, should this be considered a major strength? You look at it, 29 games are played for so many of the clubs, some of them 28 and thereabouts. And you can still mention about maybe
about 5 teams.
Are you saying 5? Maybe 10 teams that can still go all the way to win the league. What does that say? Does that make our league peculiar? We don't see that often, in other climes. I mean, you just about 9 games to go, and you still have about 9 teams who can still legitimately lay claims to possibly winning the league.
Yeah, it shows that our league is very competitive. That is something about it. You can always say that one team will not continue to whitewash any other team. It's difficult for.
So maybe it's going to be Aqua United. This
yeah, they're doing well, and just like Afermi was talking about their game against Nasarawa United, that is a top of the table clash. You have to say
first versus second
against second. So I think that is one of those games you want to see in any league. Whenever the top team is coming up against their direct or the closest rival, the second place team and all that. So it just shows that we are so competitive, and maybe also down to the fact that many teams do so well in front of their own fans. So when they get the results this week, you look at it next week, maybe when they go away from home, they don't get the results, and the teams at home will get their results. So it balances out.
So what does that say?
It says that our teams are so solid at home. Their home is always a fortress and all that.
Or they must win syndrome that is still disturbing us in this part of the world. No,
it's not disturbing us. We've seen many away victories. We've seen some fantastic away victories.
But can you compare that with what we usually see over there in Europe or even in senior clients in Africa?
But must we compare?
That's the point.
I think to some extent, we have to. If you are talking about violence and all that, we will definitely compare. So why can we not compare in this?
We don't want the violence.
So that's what we are talking about.
We're talking about the competitiveness here.
If they are doing something right over there too, we can actually copy the same here. There is this syndrome that I'm playing at home, I have to get all the maximum results, and I want to do everything possible to actually get them. Maybe that is actually reducing this time around, but I can tell you it is still not eradicated.
Fair on me, that syndrome occurs everywhere in the world. When you see teams, our countries,
in a much more organized and structured league,
host tournaments, and they will be talking about hosting to win. It happens
you can talk about it.
Okay.
But you must not enforce it.
Let's move on quickly. Tennis gets our attention right now. The Wimbledon. Tuesday marked day 2 of this year's edition of Wimbledon, the first since 2019, following last year's coronavirus enforced cancellation, and there were numerous big name players in first round action in SW19. Roger Federer, 8-time champion at the grass court Grand Slam, stepped on center court for the first time since his dramatic 5th set tie-break defeat by Novak Djokovic in the 2019 final, and an all-time classic encounter at Wimbledon. Federer's meeting with Adrian Manarino ended with the Frenchman retiring injured just after the Swiss had drawn the match level at 2-set-all. Before that, world number 1 Ashley Barty was taken to 3 sets by Carlos Suarez Navarro before winning 6-1, 6-7, 6-1. The day's final match on center court meanwhile saw Serena Williams resume a bid to match Margaret Court's all-time women's Grand Slam record. The American, a 7-time champion at Wimbledon, was forced again, sadly, to retire against Alexandra Sasnovich at 3-3 in the first set. However, after slipping and seemingly injuring her ankle. So the search for that elusive 24th Grand Slam continues for Serena Williams. On number 1 court, 4th seed Alexander Zverev defeated Netherlands Talon Grispol, a qualifier this year in straight sets. Later in the day, number 2 men's seed Daniil Medvedev overcame Jan-Lennard Struve in 4 sets. Well, in just about 30 seconds, because of our time, let's spare a thought for Serena Williams. Again, she's out.
It's a very, very sad one. And it's looking like that 24th Grand Slam might not eventually come with the way it is going right now. Because
there's another slam coming this year.
Yeah, really, there is. But the body is showing her that, hey, maybe I'm actually done at this point in time. Because injuries after injuries.
The US Open is coming later this year.
Okay.
Our favorite.
Well, yeah, you cannot take anything away from that. But of course, we always say this. Time is the bane.
That's provided Naomi Osaka is not playing.
Time is the bane of any sports person. It's showing that, well, time is running out and all that. But I think we should begin to look away from that 24th Grand Slam. The thing is, it doesn't take anything away from her legacy.
Definitely.
Whether she
would, the media will stop talking about the 24th Grand Slam?
They wouldn't, obviously. Or we wouldn't stop talking about it. That is very obvious. But for her, she should just take her mind off it. It doesn't necessarily take anything away from her legacy. She still remains maybe the best player in the Open era. Of course, that might be debatable and all that, but then she will remain a huge force in the world of tennis. She left heartbroken yesterday. I was also heartbroken because I thought she'd be able to put up a fight. She's won the Wimbledon 7 times, so I thought it's one of her favorite courts and all that. But it is what it is. You cannot do once. You might say the spirit is willing, but the body is just weak and all that.
Okay, quick one from the Copa America. I mean, the group stage of the 2021 Copa America was a lengthy process with 20 matches to eliminate just 2 teams. But now that the group stage is over and the Bolivia and Venezuela have packed their bags, we can look ahead to the 2021 Copa America quarterfinals. Still very interesting, matchups. If you look at it, Argentina still in the competition, Ecuador in the competition, Chile in the competition, Brazil in the competition. Well, maybe, just maybe, Lionel Messi seems to be, he's an old man now in football, but he seems to have a point to prove, at this Copa America. Ferron, let me take it in 30 seconds.
Yeah, definitely. I think he has a lot of proof, especially on the international scene. He's still a lot of debate about the fact that he's still not won any major title international-wise. And
at senior level.
At senior level, definitely. And, he's trying everything possible to make sure that he actually puts that right. Maybe this is the time. We will wait and see.
Okay. Paraguay versus Peru, Brazil against Chile, Uruguay versus Colombia, Argentina versus Ecuador. Faith, which one stands out for you?
Maybe it will be the game between Brazil and Chile. Definitely. Obviously, that is a mouth-watering one. Maybe the Argentines will be happy. They'll be hoping that the Brazilians will knock out their long-time nemesis. or maybe nemesis now, the Chileans out of the competition. But then, in the Copa America, we've always seen that there is no walkover. There is no easy team. Just like the African Cup of Nations, everything is very strong. So
I agree with you. Absolutely. At this point, I think Argentina would rather play Brazil than Chile. We'll take a break. A quick one on the program for the BBC Premier League updates. Finally, the 3 Lions of England overcame the Germans in the knockout competition. I think about 55 years. Oh, wow. Such a long time. So, England can dream. They can dream, right?
Maybe they will feel it's coming on.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, I'm Andy Barwell at the BBC Sports Centre. Goals from the Manchester City star Raheem Sterling and the Tottenham Hotspur striker Harry Kane saw England beat old rivals Germany 2-0 in the round of 16 at the European Football Championship. The BBC's correspondent John Murray was at Wembley Stadium for the big game.
Gareth Southgate's team created more memories for a new generation with England's first win against a German team in a knockout match since 1966. In a closely fought match, goalkeeper Jordan Pickford's saves were vitally important as England built momentum and scored their goals in the last 15 minutes. Substitute Jack Grealish involved in both, as first Raheem Sterling, then Harry Kane converted from close range, to a cacophonous reaction from a crowd of almost 42,000. Crucially, in between the goals was a glaring miss by Germany's Thomas Muller, but England will now leave Wembley for Rome, having still yet to concede a goal in the tournament.
And England next play Ukraine, who beat Sweden 2-1 after extra time. Manchester City have agreed a new one-year contract extension with club skipper Fernandinho. The 36-year-old joined City in 2013. He's the winner of 4 Premier League titles and 6 League Cups. Fernandinho was also part of the City side, beaten in the Champions League final by Chelsea in May. The Brazilian feels he still has plenty to offer the club.
Well, obviously, in my head, in my mind, still, the job is not done yet. And so that's why I decided to stay here another year and try to help the team and the club to achieve the goals they are looking forward. But for sure, the players which are here now, they know the standard we are now, the level we are now, performance level, results level. So it's important.
And for more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Okay, quick one before we leave. Let's look at the quarterfinal pairing in Switzerland against Spain. Your take, just your prediction.
Really? Well, I think for me,
your prediction.
My prediction,
not the analysis.
Let's wait to that day.
Okay, Belgium, Italy.
Yeah. Wow, I think the Italians will peep that.
Czech Republic, Denmark.
I think Denmark will go through.
Okay, you're not waiting.
I'm not waiting for that.
Ukraine, England. Okay, nice stuff. Well, 2 games today, Switzerland versus Spain. Ferromi said we should wait.
Yeah, let's wait.
But it's today.
Is it today? No, it can't be today.
No, it's not today.
Not today.
Friday.
It has to be on Friday. Yeah, so let's
so
wait.
we'll do this on Thursday.
On Thursday tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow.
Because you're not going to be around on Friday.
No, you won't be here tomorrow.
Blessing will be here tomorrow.
Definitely.
And of course, Belgium, Italy. Wow. We need to round off the month of June in style.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a truly special month. Happy birthday to Ibadan's finest. Let me put it that way. Yeah. The Queen herself, Blessing Fowe. Today is her birthday, and her name is Fowe. So please, shower her with a lot of money. Don't bill her, just shower her with money, lots of it. And of course, to Aminat Adeto Badmos, foremost newscaster on Splash 105.5 FM. They call her Mortala. Faith, wishes.
Happy birthday to Blessing. Undoubtedly, the best female sportscaster in the business. Undoubtedly. That is not even a debate.
We are not even sugarcoating it.
No.
It's never going to be in doubt. Okay. Long life, in good health, and sound mind.
Happy birthday to her, my partner on stage. I'm very sure she understands what I'm talking about. I mean, fantastic lady right there. Happy birthday to her once again.
Okay, we need to leave. Thank you so much from the entire team. Boss Clev, Goki, Blessing. The one who looks away when her team is losing. She just focuses on other things. Listen, have a great Wednesday. Just Football will be right here by 4 o'clock later today. Bye-bye.
Back up from sunlight.
Splash FM 105.5.